Alright, I have decided to do a little walkthrough on Frosty Editor to show some people how to do some certain things, show you kind of the basics. It's revolving around my Realistic Soldiers mod. Since I've gotten several questions about it before, I'd kind of like to show you a couple things, really. And I think I'll just start with using the mod itself and showing what you can do, and then maybe show just like from a base file, just what what you can do with that. All right, well, I guess let's get to that then. So I'm gonna launch up Frosty Editor, and just one moment. All right, there's that. And like that. Yeah, and a lot of time will say that the SDK is out of date. Just ignore that. And alright, we now have Frosty Editor opened. And I'm gonna open my Realistic Soldiers mod. And so, alright, here we go. So with the mod, you can check this box up here to show what's only modified, so basically what the mod itself changes. Unchecking it will just show everything you can change or view. So in this case, that's what should I start with? I guess let's just start with faces, like face textures. Like I got some questions about reverting faces back to what they look like in the base game. So what you would want to do is, let me just start from up here. You want to go to characters and go to MP for multiplayer, and then faces, and textures, and then from here, here's all the characters that are in the base game. Let's say you want to revert the German scout, who now kind of has like that mustache and kind of a bit scruffier look than in the base game. You can also see which ones are currently affected by the mod by checking it again. So that would be Jensk, and you can see that this one that's bolded is the one that's been affected, and you can double click on it and you can see his face here. This is his current texture, what he'll look like in game. And if you, that's to say you want it to be the base game, what you're going to want to do is to right click and then hit revert, and then you can see now he's going to look like what he looks like in the base game. That's something you can do with the faces, not too difficult. Alright, now let's just do soldier appearances, which is probably the bigger thing rather than the face textures. So all the base game is going to be under soldier appearance. So that's going to be, here's Austro-Hungary, Germany, Italy, the Ottoman Empire, Britain, and America. If you want to do DLC ones like the French and the Russians, you're gonna scroll down to the bottom where it says X-Pack. X-Pack 1 is gonna be the French DLC, and it kind of works the same, like characters, soldier appearance. FR means France. X-Pack 1 is gonna be the French DLC. X-Pack 2 is gonna be the Russian DLC. Bolsheviks and Russians. And then X-Pack 3 is going to be the Turning Tides DLC. So in here you can, here's the Ottoman Empire for that one. Then here's the, I forgot the name of it, but they like the ones with the Australians. included, and then here's the Marines, the UK Marines. But alright, let's say I'll just go with one question from earlier. Once again, you can see all the classes that are affected in bold. Let's say I want to add the German, the camo wrap to the German assault that was in the base game, because currently in the mod it is not there. Gonna double click, open the German assault appearance, see visual unlock assets. That's all you're ever gonna really look for. Open that, and down here you can see everything that's currently on him. So there's a couple ways you can do this, but probably the simplest way to get everyone looking exactly like they are in the base game is like what I did with the texture. We're gonna just right click and hit revert. It'll close it, and then you can open it again, open visual unlock assets, and now it'll look exactly like he does in the base game. So yeah, pretty simple. But now let's say I want to give him the German assault I don't really know. Let's just do a different class for now. Let's say I want to make the no, I know what I could do. Let's just say I want to add the sentry armor from the sentry class onto the German assault. Just because, you know, why not? You're going to want to open up the German sentry, visual unlock assets, and I believe it's the heavy torso. And if you're not sure what the files are, you can actually view them all by going over to the triple dots on the whatever file, left click, and open that asset, and then you're gonna want to look for out object blueprint right here. Do the same thing, open asset, go down to object, then see the mesh, open it one last time, let it do its thing. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer, but that's just Frosty doing its thing, so don't worry about it. Alright, and there you go. Now you can see the mesh. So if I were to add the heavy torso here to the German assault, this is what I would be adding. Okay, so now let's say to add it, what you're going to want to do is, there's two ways to do it, but I'm just going to do the simpler way, I think. It's just right click on the file, click copy, go back over to the class you want to add something to, and you can either replace things by just pasting over them, but in this case I'm adding. So what I'm going to want to do is I can just copy, right click, and then click insert after or before. It'll make a new spot, and I paste it there. One thing you should also know, if your game is crashing from anything like that, make sure that you never have an empty empty spot here. Like, make sure it never has a null like this. Make sure there's always something there, or there's nothing at all. In that case, just delete it. That's just a thing I've run into before, but that's not what we're doing right here. So there, I've added the heavy torso, this armor from the sentry class, onto the German assault. So that's just at this moment, see what that looks like in game. So you're going to want to click launch, let it do its thing, The only reason it asked me to do that again is I just recently reinstalled Battlefield 1 just to make this video. But you only need to do that new installation once, and then you'll be done. You don't have to do it ever again until you uninstall and then reinstall like I have. Wow, I'm already taking up 10 minutes. But yeah, this stuff takes a lot of time. I mean, it's a lot of just trial and error for making your own combinations and whatnot, because not everything's gonna work perfect. Like, I'm not even sure this is gonna, I guess, translate properly onto the German assault. It may look a little wonky, but we're gonna find out just for the sake of, why not? Alright. Okay. So just because I did German, I'm just gonna find a empty server on a map where there's Germans. Passchendaele will do just fine. Or I'll just load into Rupture. The lighting might be a bit better. Passchendaele is a really dark map. One of my favorites personally. Alright. About time. Switch team. Alright, moment of truth. And there we go. So we have made the realistic soldiers, or added the realistic soldiers mod, and reverted the look of the German assault. So he has his camo wrap on, and after the game loaded a little bit, it looks like it fixed the little meshing problem there. And he also now has the armor from the sentry. So that's cool. Yeah. So that's just what some things you can do. Now that's... I'm going to show you a couple other things. Alright. 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 Keep saying alright. Alright. So there's a couple things that you should know before mixing and matching, I guess, your soldiers. Try to only take assets from classes that are on the same country as whatever class you're trying to edit. You don't have to. There are certain occasions where you don't have to. Like, let's say I want. Let's say for the UK, I would like my UK medic. I would like him to have the face of the French scout, like that one with the mustache or whatever. You cannot do that. It will break the game, sadly. However, the French could use a German face. Only, basically how it works is that if you can only use assets from the countries that are on the map at the same time. So any country that fights more than, I guess, one country, basically you can only use what that country has to offer and not the other one. So, for example, with the UK, you can only use UK assets because the UK in-game fights the Germans, fights the Ottoman Empire. I think that's it. So in this case, the UK can only use its own assets. The USA, however, since they only fight the Germans in-game, you can have the USA can use German assets. So you could actually make your USA assault look exactly like, I don't know, the German support. Use the exact same assets because they're loaded in on the same map. But if I wanted the USA to use anything from, I don't know, the Italians, it would not work. So yeah, another case would be Italians can use any Austro-Hungarian assets, but that Austro-Hungarian cannot use any of the Italian assets because the Austro-Hungarians also fight the Russians in the DLC. So what would happen? I think I already said this, but let's say that I did take something from any of the Italy assets and then put them on the Austro-Hungarian, and then you went to play one of the maps where it's Austro-Hungarian versus the Russians, it would crash the game. Or it wouldn't crash the game, but it would be invisible. Like if you took one of the faces and then put them over the Austro-Hungarians, it would make the Austro-Hungarian face invisible on the Russian maps. And yeah. So I think that's basically everything. It's really just the assets, and of course there's going to be plenty of trial and error. There was with me. And that's about it. I mean, I don't really need to make one from a blank slate like I was mentioning earlier. But yeah, that's about it. Just soldier appearances and then swapping assets. So yeah, that's it. I hope this helped. If not, I guess just leave a question on the post. And yeah, thanks for watching.